Hey guys, it's Elon from Inside Fighting, and I want to jump into this Roger Jackson situation. Everyone else has already commented on it. I know I'm late to the game, but I'm going to give a different outlook on this. I'll just throw this out right away. I think he should go to prison. Clearly, what he did was in no way justified, but stay tuned. We're going to look at it in a unique way. Jump right in.
Pow, pow. Inside fighting, yeah. Dangerous martial arts. Pow, pow. Ooh, ah.
All right, so if you haven't seen the footage by now, it's pretty disturbing. Roger Jackson, who's Rampage Jackson's son, gets into this wrestling ring, slams this pro wrestler, Syko Stu, and as he's unconscious on the ground, starts raining blows down on him, full force, roughly 25 blows. It takes people time to figure out what's going on and jump in. I know everyone who watches that video, I've seen so many comments, why didn't people jump in sooner? Why didn't people jump in sooner? I've seen a lot of tragic incidents. It always takes the brain time to process what's actually going on, because it's very easy to watch it on YouTube, know the context, say, oh, I would have done something faster. But in reality, when you're watching something live, you're not expecting it to take place. You don't know what's going to happen. It takes your brain time to say, oh man, this is real. And then it takes your brain another second to say, act. Okay, so there's a process there. And that's why it took time. It took time for people to realize this is not part of the show. It makes total sense. Now, I want to jump into first Raja Jackson, and I think I'm also going to explain why this hits so deep in terms of people finding it disgusting and wanting to see some kind of punishment. The primary reason is because if you haven't seen the video, Syko Stu previously, when they were outside in the back of the lot, hits him over the head with a prop can.
You need to worry about him. You need to be worried about Syko Stu.
Syko Stu?
What, you don't know me?
Hell no. Yeah.
Hey, I think that's a little.
Oh, you don't
Easy. He's not a fucking worker, bro. Calm down.
Yeah, what the fuck was that?
Makes it kind of before, doesn't cause any damage or pain, but it embarrasses Raja. Now, Syko Stu thought that Raja was a working wrestler. It's important to note Syko Stu is in wrestling because he suffers from PTSD. He's a veteran, and this is his outlet. So he's always on for the cameras, maybe too much. And he has his own personal issues. So he does this thing that I think a lot of people would say is unjustified in terms of the behavior. And if on the spot, by the way, Raja would have felt something hit his head, saw stuff squirting out, thought it's blood, and shot in on him and punched him a couple of times, and then got dragged off, I don't think anyone would say this is so disgusting. I think people would say, listen, he saw something hit his head. You don't go up to a stranger and smash him over the head with something. They're going to react. I might react in that situation, but that's not what happened. Raja didn't react in that situation. He actually then went on to accept an apology without getting violent, shook hands, said he accepts the apology. It's like, it's all good, but was plotting the entire time to cause some kind of damage to Syko Stu.
Yeah. I don't know.
Oh, make sure he get it.
I apologize.
I appreciate it.
I didn't know. I thought you were camera.
I get it.
We're not working out. Well, he gonna come out on your mat, too. I know you keep thinking we're working. We're always working.
I get it. Yeah. I get it now. Now you
know what I'm saying, Os? We're always working. So we'll set it up. I'll have him come out during your mat so we could fucking seal the whole thing and we'll make something out of it. You know what I'm saying? All right.
Well, now you just involved fucking Rampage himself because that's his boy.
Now, I want to talk about two things with Raja that I find interesting. Before this event, he had gotten kicked in the face in training, kicked in the head. I think he has a concussion and he might not have gone to the hospital for it because he's in the live stream leading up to this, before even getting hit in the head, talking about how sick he feels after getting hit. He's talking about how he's been vomiting, how his head is dizzy, how he's brain fog. These are all indicative of concussions.
No, I didn't go with my pops. How does my head feel? I'm still fucked up. I'm not even gonna lie. That's part of the reason why I didn't stream earlier. I was supposed to stream going to fucking paintballing with AJ, but my head was fucked up. I was throwing up and shit.
Now, concussions can change your ability to have impulse control. They can make you more aggressive, but what they won't do is make you plot. And so That would have made more sense if he just had a concussion, someone hits him in the head again with something, and he reacted, had low impulse control in that situation. That would be far more indicative of, okay, he just had a concussion, he saw red, and he went for it. Again, not what happened. So the concussion is not to blame. It could be to blame for his being in a bad mood, being a little bit confused, all those things, but not for the lack of impulse, because he didn't have a lack of impulse. He plotted revenge. I always talk about in self-defense, one of the scariest things is what revenge actually could mean. People don't commit revenge to just hurt you. They often commit revenge to end you, cause some kind of permanent damage or death. If you did something terrible to me, you beat me up in a street fight, you jumped me and beat me up, and I'm plotting revenge, I'm not just jumping and beating you up, I'm probably doing worse than what you did to me. Probably breaking both your legs or whatever that thing is, right? And I talked about this in a previous story of someone I knew who got attacked, and then he beat the guy up, and then one day when he was walking down the street, got stabbed multiple times in the back by that same guy and his girlfriend too, and his girlfriend died. So you never know what revenge will mean. The problem here is that Syko Stu apologized. There was no reason for revenge. Nobody was harmed up to this point. But here's the thing that no one's talking about, and if you've watched this far, I appreciate it. The thing that no one's talking about is that the live streamers the entire time, so he's a live streamer, the people watching his live stream the entire time were egging him on. Now, these are mostly, it kind of instigated him, and you see it. I'll show the footage right now. You'll see him be instigated the entire time sitting ringside at the event. And he was just at the event, by the way, to support a friend. People think he was there for some other purpose. He was just there to support a friend, and all this escalated. Now, his life is for sure ruined, and hopefully Syko Stu doesn't have brain damage. But if you look at what the people watching his stream were saying, they were egging him on, calling him a bitch, saying he's a pussy, saying you're not going to do anything, and just trying to push him to take action.
Done some shit to him, they would have kicked me out. And I'm here to support my homie. I'm gonna fake crash out. All right, bet. You about to see you about to see how fake of a crash out I am. Now I get a chance to get in the ring and do this and do some shit to him. I haven't been playing Fortnite. America's mid. I get the chance to go in there and now really fuck him up. It's always been my dream to fuck up a pro wrestler for real. So I get it today.
I remember years ago there was a case of a woman or a girl, teenager, who instigated via text her boyfriend to kill himself. He reached out, said I'm suicidal, blah, blah, and she egged him on. Via text, she wasn't present, but because she helped him do it via text, she was culpable. There's an issue in society nowadays where I'd say that arguably way more than even back then, we rely on our social media following. We rely, especially people like him, whose life is live streaming. You rely on the people watching you for your identity, for your purpose, for everything. It's unhealthy. It's toxic. It's dangerous. And so he's sitting there getting told, you're a bitch. You're not going to do anything. Go ahead and prove us wrong. And this is like hundreds of comments coming in. These are 12-year-old kids who are idiots, who have no idea what they're talking about or the consequences of what they're saying. And they're telling this to a guy who just had a concussion, who's embarrassed by it, and didn't do anything on the spot. He actually had restraint in the moment where he needed it. And so now, when he accepted the apology, I don't know if he was planning on doing anything to all the people saying he was plotting back then. I think the decision came when he was live streaming ringside and everyone was egging him on. And he said, you know what? I'm going to prove everybody I'm not a bitch anymore. Because the second after he did that, he was wandering around saying, people aren't going to talk to me like this anymore. I'm tired of not being respected. People aren't going to treat me this way anymore. He's not talking about Syko Stu, whether he knows it or not. He's talking about his own following that puts him down, that eggs him on to do things. His entire identity is on how these people perceive him. He's not the only one. The reason this is a more systemic issue is because social media has created an environment, and not just social media, just kind of our perceptions of identity. Whatever cause you represent, whatever cause I represent, if you go against my cause, it's justified for me to be violent against you. We've seen it in America. We've seen it across the world. People will go out of their way to harm other people because whatever political issue, whatever thing they want to believe in, and it has now become their identity, is being challenged by someone. Oftentimes a completely innocent person, like in this case, Syko Stu. And so because their identity is wrapped up in this thing, they're going to prove that everyone wrong. They're going to stand up for it and they're going to do something about it. This literally leads to murder. In this case, it led to attempted murder, in my opinion. Thank God Syko Stu seems to be recovering. But as much as people say he's recovering, by the way, just so people understand this, he 100% got some kind of brain injury from that encounter, from that incident. He was on his back, having his head punched 25 times, bare knuckle, by a guy fully mounted on top of him who was enraged. Your brain does not recover from that very quickly. It could take years. You know, like I've been kicked. You know, in Kyokushin, I got kicked in the head one time really hard behind the ear, and I was just on the ground. That was one hit. It took me a while. Like I was hearing ringing. My vision was all flashy lights all the time, weird stuff. My jaw had water sounds in it. Like people don't realize you get up and you seem fine, but you're not fine. The same way Raja was not fine after the head kick. Now Syko Stu is going to be dealing with a lot of head trauma. And this is a guy who already has PTSD. This is a big deal, but I just wanted to give some context to the overall situation. No one's talking about how he was somewhat, I don't want to say manipulated, but he was definitely instigated. And not by the act of getting hit on the head, but by the people watching it, who then told him do something about it. It's a big lesson for society. There is some degree of accountability in what we tell people to do. This is obviously a troubled 25-year-old. His life is now ruined. And I just think the whole situation is tragic. I think, again, the reason people took it so seriously and were so disgusted by it, because there's terrible things happening every day, is because of we saw the guy apologize. And then we saw the plot. But again, I don't necessarily know how much of it was plotted versus how much of it was him ringside being instigated by these trolls. And nobody's talking about that. And I know a lot of you are going to just dismiss it and say it doesn't matter. It's still on him. I agree. It's still on him. We still make the decisions we make. But it just gives some context as to kind of what might have taken place. Again, I think it's very much attempted murder because I think if no one would have stopped him, he would have kept going. I don't know. I'm not a lawyer, so I don't know if that legally makes it attempted murder, but it seems like he would have sat there for 10 minutes punching him in the head, allowing his brains to fall out, and would not have stopped. To me, the intent was clearly to not stop, which means murder, which means this was attempted murder. Let me know your thoughts, though. I'm curious if you guys think he should go to jail for attempted murder. And thanks for watching. Subscribe, by the way. Like and subscribe.